So we missed you. We missed you, Angel. You're back. You're roaring back, and I'm sure you came back and led the Chicago Sky to victory. Okay. No? Okay. It's been a while, and I'm sure you came back to a sellout crowd that could not wait to see you. Or not.
Angel Reese's return was supposed to be iconic, but instead it turned into pure humiliation on live TV. The Chicago Sky marketed it like a Hollywood premiere, fans braced for fireworks, and social media was buzzing. But the moment Reese stepped back on the court, what unfolded wasn't triumph. It was comedy, not because of her stats, but because of one viral block that made her return unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Chicago thought they were launching a comeback campaign that would reignite their season. Instead, they handed critics ammunition on a silver platter. From the embarrassing attendance numbers to the way Indiana Fever's rise makes Reese look even worse, this wasn't just another game, it was the night Chicago's gamble on Angel Reese blew up on national television. By the end of this video, you'll see why fans aren't just disappointed, they're laughing. Now let's get to the first point, the overhyped return that set the stage for humiliation.
Only 6,724 fans showed up to the Wintrust Arena. Yeah, it holds about 9,500 fans, so we're talking roughly 3,000 fans away from being sold out, to see the return of Angel Reese and the defeat of the Chicago Sky against the Storm.
Welcome back, Barbie. More like welcome back embarrassment. That's what fans were saying when Chicago rolled out the pink banners, splashy Instagram posts, and a hype campaign that tried to make Angel Reese's first game back feel like a championship parade. The Sky's official channels went all in on the narrative. Angel wasn't just a player returning from injury, she was the savior returning to rescue a franchise on life support.
Quitting again? It appears you're quitting again just because your team not good. Just like rookie year, once you realize you stood no chance to win rookie of the year, you quit. You're quitting unrivaled. It looked like it was happening again. But look what we have here. Look what we have here. Angel Reese has been found. She has surfaced.
Only 6,724 fans showed up. Wintrust Arena holds nearly 10,000, and if Reese was truly the superstar Chicago painted her as, that building should have been packed. Instead, nearly 3,000 seats sat empty on what was supposed to be the biggest night of their season. That's not star power, that's overhype. And the embarrassment wasn't just in the stands. Once the game tipped off, the humiliation moved to the court. Pancake syrup with that block. Fans couldn't stop clowning Angel after Seattle's Ezi Magbiger delivered the moment that would define the night. One vicious rejection went straight onto the Storm's social media feed, and within hours, Reese's big comeback was reduced to a meme. She put up 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. But nobody was talking about those numbers. They were talking about the clip of her getting shut down in front of a national audience.
We're so back! Bang! Hexagon, polygon, octagon, it don't matter. Turn it on for pecan, butter pecan. Bang! Me bound. Bang! Hasn't played in 3 weeks. Maybe her legs are fresh. She can jump higher. No! Bang! She's played in 24 games this year. She's been blocked 48 times. According to my advanced analytics, she's getting 2 bang bangs per game. Bang bang!
Angel low in her head. Oh! Has liked her spots here and likes her chances there. But
that's the humiliation of live TV. You can drop nearly 20 points, but if one play goes viral for the wrong reason, that's all people remember. For Reese, her so-called comedic return wasn't about buckets, it was about being the butt of the joke. Chicago sold her as a centerpiece, and she ended up trending for getting embarrassed. And that's when fans started asking the real question, does Angel Reese even contribute to winning? You quit again, Angel, same story every time. That was the sentiment flooding comment sections after the game. Fans weren't just laughing at the block, they were connecting it to a bigger pattern. Remember last year, Reese walked out on unrivaled, skipped playoff games, and even in her rookie WNBA season, critics accused her of checking out when Rookie of the Year was no longer in play.
We need Angel Reese so we can win, win, win! When? Since when has Angel Reese contributed to winning? The Chicago Bravado were routinely getting their ass kicked when she was healthy. Outside of the female Suns from Connecticut who seem to be losing intentionally, the Chicago Bravado are the worst team in the league.
This time, she disappeared for nearly a month with what was called a back injury. But when she came back, she looked anything but limited. The problem? Reese herself framed her absence as learning a lot about myself. To critics, that sounded tone-deaf, like she had checked out while her team slid deeper into irrelevance. Instead of being humbled, she seemed detached. Social media dragged her, turning her comeback into a cycle of memes instead of a story of resilience. Fans weren't buying the excuses anymore, and the more the online ridicule grew, the clearer it became. Chicago's entire plan around Angel Reese was collapsing. She was supposed to save the franchise. Instead, she's sinking it.
When Angel Reese is on the court, the only thing you're winning is the #1 pick in the draft. Ironically enough, if the Chicago Bravado get the #1 pick in the draft this year, they don't even get to keep it. It belongs to the Minnesota Lynxers. So not only are you stuck with Angel Reese, you also don't have a draft pick so you can select a player that actually knows how to win.
Chicago's front office didn't just draft Angel Reese, they built their entire identity around her. They even gave up Sonia Citron, who's thriving in DC, just to fast-track Reese's stardom. Add veterans like Ariel Atkins into the mix, and the Sky believed they were building a playoff contender. But what they ended up with was an 8-26 record and one of the worst seasons in franchise history.
The facts was she had not finished any season. Her rookie year with the Sky, she tapped out. She did not finish with Unrivaled. She tapped out, didn't even show up to the playoff games. And then this season, post All-Star break, it seemed like that is all she cared about. She realized this team stinks. Tyler Marsh is a bum. Jeff P's a bum. They all stink.
The humiliation here isn't just on Reese, it's on Chicago for believing the hype. They gambled their future on her brand power and ignored the reality of her inconsistent play. Meanwhile, Citron is making waves for the Mystics, proving she's the kind of reliable player the Sky desperately lack. It's the definition of a backfired gamble. And when you put Chicago's disaster side by side with Indiana Fever's rise, the humiliation becomes even more brutal. Caitlin Clark makes losing feel like progress. Reese makes winning feel like spin. That's how fans are framing the difference between Indiana and Chicago. The Fever, led by Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, have built something authentic. Their games are must-watch TV, their arenas are packed, and every night feels like a step forward, even with injuries and setbacks. There's energy, there's momentum, and there's hope.
She said, "I'm so happy to be back playing the game that I love." All right. So here we go, right here. This is Angel. She's going to be going down the court. Again, she's much improved from the field. She's made so much headway. Yeah. Okay. God, it's good to have Angel back. It really is. My goodness. How about right here? Angel Reese is the most blocked player in the WNBA, and believe it or not, I believe that's a real stat.
Chicago, they have marketing slogans. They have welcome back Barbie posts, but they don't have results. The Fever show up as a team even when Clark is sidelined. Reese, on the other hand, vanished during her absence, nowhere on the bench, no visible rehab updates, no leadership presence. The contrast is glaring. And when Indiana keeps selling out crowds while Chicago struggles to fill seats for Reese's big return, it's clear which franchise fans actually believe in. Back injury or back to quitting? That's what fans kept asking during Reese's month-long disappearance. Officially, the Sky called it a back issue, but the vague explanations raised more questions than answers. No rehab footage, no courtside appearances, no clear updates. It was as if their centerpiece had ghosted the team at its most desperate moment. And in sports, when the team won't tell the story, the fans will fill in the gaps, and those gaps weren't flattering. To many, it looked less like a physical injury and more like an attitude problem, especially when Reese returned and immediately played heavy minutes, scoring efficiently without looking limited. If her back was truly that bad, where was the struggle? Where was the grind back to form? Instead, it looked like she had tapped out until the All-Star break passed, then reappeared with vague talk about self-growth. And that's where the humiliation deepens, because her return didn't rescue Chicago. It buried them further. She had 19 points and still lost. What's the point? That's the narrative now surrounding Angel Reese. Yes, the stat line looks respectable, nearly 20 points with solid rebounding and assists. But when the Chicago Sky dropped their 5th straight game, the numbers rang hollow.
But it seems like once she made the All-Star game, she said, that's it. I've done what I had to do. I don't need to stick around for all this losing. She's been saying her back hurts. Nobody knows anything about the injury. Nobody knows. So we start calling it out. Hey, are you quitting again? It appears you're quitting again just because your team not good. Just like rookie year, once you realize you stood no chance to win rookie of the year, you quit. You're quitting Unrivaled. It looked like it was happening again.
Fans don't care about empty stats when they don't translate into wins. And right now, that's Reese's entire identity, a player who can fill a box score but can't change a scoreboard. Even worse, her production often comes at the expense of team chemistry. While Reese grabbed her numbers, her teammates, especially Camila Cardoso, saw their rhythm disrupted.
And just like clockwork, Angel comes back, Cardoso's numbers go down. If I'm Cardoso, I'm wanting out of Chicago. I'm getting the hell out of Chicago. Seriously. Brittany Sykes, Skylar Diggins. Skylar Diggins had 24 for the Storm last night. And Angel's return. So, Angel, of course, so happy to be back, and she was welcomed back by so many fans. Oh, dearly beloved.
Chicago looks worse with her on the floor, and that's a perception you can't erase with raw stats. It's the kind of humiliation that lingers, to be marketed as a savior only to have your own numbers used as proof that you're not a winner. And that's why this wasn't just a disappointing return, it was humiliating. Angel Reese isn't a franchise savior, she's a franchise distraction. That's the conclusion many fans walked away with after her so-called return. Chicago tried to sell hope, but what they delivered was another loss, another meme, and another reminder that hype doesn't equal winning. The humiliation wasn't just in the block, the attendance, or the loss. It was in the gap between what was promised and what was delivered. Meanwhile, Indiana shows what authenticity looks like. A team building together, fighting through adversity, and creating organic excitement. Reese's brand-first persona looks flimsy next to Clark's impact, Boston's reliability, and the Fever's rise. That's why fans left Reese's return laughing instead of cheering. The marketing said superstar. The reality screamed overhyped. And now the question lingers, is Angel Reese truly the future of Chicago, or just the face of its biggest mistake?
Capital L in love, or capital L for lost? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, so many people were happy. Reese report, so happy. You made so many people happy tonight. You made so many people that squeezed in just a mere 3,000 people short of selling out the arena. It was literally only 3,000 fans away from being standing room only. That's right. Last night, the triumphant return of the product herself, Angel Reese, finally made her way back to the court. Funny, a lot of questions going on out there around Angel the last month or so. Like, what in the bleep is going on? Exactly, why aren't you playing in games? We heard it was a back injury.
By the end of the night, Angel Reese's return wasn't remembered as a comeback. It was remembered as a collapse. Every flashy promo, every marketing slogan, and every promise Chicago sold its fans evaporated the moment reality hit the floor. What was supposed to be a celebration turned into a roast, and instead of lifting her team, Reese became the headline for all the wrong reasons. The humiliation wasn't just on the scoreboard, it was in the way her name trended online as a joke. That's the curse of modern sports. When hype doesn't match performance, the internet doesn't forgive. And now the Sky are staring at the fallout. Their gamble on Reese is looking more like a brand blunder than a basketball decision. And the franchise is paying the price in attendance, credibility, and future stability. Meanwhile, Indiana is thriving with a blueprint built on authenticity and unity, the exact opposite of Chicago's gamble on flash. Reese's comedic return against Seattle wasn't just one bad night. It was the turning point that made fans, critics, and maybe even her own teammates question if she was ever the answer at all. Because at this point, Angel Reese isn't saving the Chicago Sky, she's sinking it. So here's the truth. Chicago built a circus but forgot the basketball. They crowned a superstar before she proved herself, and now the receipts are coming due. Angel Reese can drop points, she can trend on TikTok, she can sell shoes, but none of that matters if the team keeps losing. And until the Sky admit the hype is bigger than the game, the humiliation isn't going to stop. It's only going to get worse.